There's two things that you hear in the rooms, and that is to be responsive over reactive. And that is a new skill to learn. And I had to develop that skill myself. I used to be extremely reactive, emotionally dysregulated. I was a reactionary, and I had to practice slowing down and putting some pauses in my life when I was feeling things, when I was stressed out and I was in anger. My emotions would take over and I would react. So what I think reacting is the emotion is happening and I'm reacting with the emotion. Like the intensity is high and then I have no control over my actions. My actions just are run basically by my emotions at that time. So say that my child spills the milk in the kitchen and I would freak out at him and go, "Oh, I can't believe you spilled the milk." And then my kid would get scared and freaked out and then I'm upset. So I'm like, my anger is like, blah, it's like reacting. I'm reacting at my child. What a responsive way for me to have been would have been, there's a few things that go on. Like, I feel the thing. That's so annoying. I wish that never happened. So I have to hold my stuff together and not do anything. This is how I practice how to be responsive. I hold it. I see it. I look at it. I breathe. I breathe a few times. I feel my feeling. Well, what's my feeling? I say my feeling is I'm very frustrated. I'm angry. I wish that didn't happen. That's a thought, but my feeling is anger, inconvenienced, another thing to do, overwhelmed. So I'm feeling all these things and I can think about now, like when I'm calm, I can think about what I'm going to do next, or I can do nothing. Sometimes, often, when I wait that long and do nothing, doing nothing at all is actually the best thing. Not to ignore, but just that not all things need an action. Most of the times, I find myself the best thing to do is to not have an action. Just let it go by. Like, okay, it happened. And have no action. Like, just hold it together, pause, and then there doesn't need to be too much. Like, simple instructions after, like, here's the paper towel. Here's the tea towel. Can you clean that up, please? Like, then it's over. I'm trying not to be a reactive person in my life. And so I work at this. Like, I can't be road raging all the time. Every time I hit a red light, I can't be like, "Oh my God, that red light." Like, that would be being reactive. If someone cut me off, I can be all angry and just let it all out, let my kids see that, like just lose my peace and be reactive. But I'm only reinforcing being reactive. I'm only letting that thing that I'm trying not to be who I am. And I don't want to be that. I can become more calmer. I can become more patient. I can look at the situation and chill out. And I used to have road rage. I used to get all upset when things on the road didn't go my way. I would take like, another one. And I would just add it all up and I would just create my own misery and just get more angry because I'm so upset with more red lights. Like, it's completely my own problem that I've made up because I could just sit there and be like, I guess they had somewhere to go. Or I could just be like, who cares? Like, is that worth my peace? Like, my peace is becoming really important to me in my life now. Reacting is unsafe. Reacting doesn't build trust. Reacting is unpredictability. It's a big thing in AA. It's a big thing with me as an alcoholic, trying not to be an alcoholic. I need to be stable, trustworthy, consistent. I can't be all up and around and all over the place all the time. If I'm explosive and I'm reacting all the time, what is the difference between me drinking? I just don't have the booze. So to become a responsive person and having self-control and not being controlled by everything else in the world is slowing down and becoming responsive. When I'm in a response, I have control over me. When I'm reacting, you have control over me. The situation has control over me. I don't have control. My emotions have control. My emotions, when they make me lose my peace and I'm not thinking clearly. If I have people around and in the room, this is only going to create disconnection. It's only going to scare other people away from me, and it's going to create a divide. If I'm always reacting, my kids aren't going to trust me. They're not going to feel safe with me. So I have to get regulated. I have to slow down. And I can do that by being responsive. It takes so much energy to learn this and refrain from freaking out. And that it's the hardest thing ever to do. Like I had a hard time learning this, but now it is just the way that I act. Responding is like I'm still feeling my feeling, but I'm seeing the thing and I'm watching it and I'm pausing and I'm feeling my feeling and breathing. And then I'm not doing anything. Like I'm just chilling out. Another time I know when I was reactive, and I still have reactive moments, but I'm just saying, like before, I used to be reactive all the time. Like that's just how I communicated, was in a reactive way. So now I'm in a response mode. This one time, I'm coming back from the mall and I'm talking about how I was at the mall and I'm talking about my experience, and my partner interrupts me like mid-story to say, like, are those the shoes you wore? And I was shocked because I felt I got all offended, and I was shocked because I felt like, oh, my story is not important enough. And then I got mad because I was like, well, what was I talking about? And I was completely thrown off my game. And then to make things worse, I react. So I pick up the rope. And by picking up the rope means I jumped into the conversation and I went, well, yeah, I wore those shoes, and I got all upset. And I'm like, why would you even do that? Why would you even say that in the middle of me talking? And then we got into this big fight because that was a bit of a form of an attack on my character. And it's controlling to be interrupting, like to interrupt, to just get your point across and to talk next, and is to control the conversation. It's not letting that other person have the floor. It's not respectful. So interrupting is like one-upping. I'm better than you. I have more things to say. Also, by interrupting is not listening. So with interrupting and there's no listening, it's just very one-sided. So this is another indication of just like unhealthy issues in situations, in relationships. So I pick up the rope, I get all upset, I lose my peace for probably half the day. And what would have been the way to respond in that situation would have been, boom, I got interrupted. I could have, and I'm stronger now, but back then, this is how I would have handled it. I would have noticed that I got interrupted. And then I would have been like, I got interrupted. This person does not value what I'm saying right now. Therefore, I do not need to continue to speak. And that is like looking for love in all the wrong places. Like am I talking to the right audience? Am I talking to someone that really wants to hear what I have to say? Do they genuinely love me or want to listen? Right? And if I'm always talking to someone that doesn't want to listen to me, that's me putting my love and energy in the wrong place. So I can hold that in for people that do want to listen to me, do care, do value me as a person. So I could have noticed what was happening if I was in that kind of situation, and I could have stopped, and it could have been like, hey, I'm hurt that happened. I'm disappointed that I didn't get to finish my conversation, finish my story. There's a loss there. Okay, this is not happening. Oh, they said something about my shoes or about me, or did you really wear that shirt today? Like, I can be like, yep, I did wear that shirt today. I don't have to say that. But in my head, I can acknowledge, yeah, and I like my clothes, and that's all that matters. Back then, I defended myself. I reacted. I picked up the rope. I got involved, and I lost my peace. See how much work that all is? Like, how much energy that I just drained all that out of me. If I was in that situation again, it's like, I don't need that person to like my shoes. I don't need that person to like anything about me if they don't like me. I can just continue on my way, be me, and still like me, still be valuable, still think my shoes are fine, and move on with my life. So gaining self-control is really, I'm really figuring out how to be responsive in all my situations, with all my interactions with people. If something bothers me, like, I really have to chill out and not get emotional. And then while I'm in that emotion, I'm doing something. And because that doing something in that high state of emotion is going to wreck stuff. And if I did have a clear mind and I was simmered, I would have made a different decision. So I'm trying to land myself in those places where I'm making better decisions that are clear and good for me, that align with my values and my truth and my life. So responsiveness over being a reactionary is, I feel my feeling. I'm in a pause and I feel my feeling, and probably not going to do anything about it. Oh, that person said something awful to me. Like, okay, like normally I would have reacted, and now it's like I really have to work on like, oh, it hurt, but I don't need to continue this conversation. Like, I can move on. Like, I'm not invincible. I'm very human, mushy. I have feelings. I'm sensitive. That's okay. I'm not going to lose all those parts of me, and I'm not going to dismiss myself or dismiss the thing. I do have to acknowledge the thing that happened, but I get the choice to pick up the rope or not. I get the choice on what to do next. And that's a really healthy place for me to be. When I'm around other healthy people that are responding as well, there's safety, there's predictability. I know that they're always going to be chill. They're not going to freak out and react all the time. And I'm trying to be around more of those kinds of people. But before, I was around a lot of reactionary people, being a reactionary person, getting all involved in the chaos, picking up the rope, having long, endless conversations about stuff that wouldn't change. And all that talking and reacting, getting mad didn't change anything. It was when I started responding with my actions quietly, not explaining them, just responding by either not getting into a big long conversation or changing the way I do something, and not making a large announcement about it, but responding with my actions, responding with my words, choosing what I'm going to do. Like, sometimes if I don't even know what to do, I'm like, I will get back to you. I will text you. I'll let you know. I hear what you're saying, but I have to think about this. Like, I have a new boundary where I make space to respond even. It's like, I don't do anything unless I have the time to think about it and then respond the way I need to respond. So it's like really putting myself first and holding it and figuring out what's my plan. That is giving me so much more in life than just reacting everywhere, because I don't like the way everything is going. I don't like that you did that. I don't like that you said this. I don't like that it's that way. Now it's just sort of, what way do I want it? Who do I want to talk to? Where can I put my love in the right places? That's my choice. I get to feel my feelings, have my thoughts, have my actions, but I don't get to change those people. I just get to figure out what to do with myself and how to take care of myself. So reacting is also kind of like a red flag. Like if someone's freaking out on the road, if someone's, saying insults about your clothing, like what is the point of that? Is if there's constant interruption, it's like, okay, like this person doesn't want to listen to me. I have to accept that. It's sad to accept that. Like that time when that person said that to me, I was a bit sad of that they didn't care. I wanted to share something and the ball got dropped. So, but knowing better, it's like I can choose to where I throw that ball. I can make the connections with people that I think are going to receive my connection on the other side. But getting upset about making a connection that didn't work out or that isn't available right now doesn't make that connection available and working. Just because I focus on it, talk about it, maybe if they understand and they see, or maybe if they see how much they hurt me, then they're going to change. None of that makes people change. I look at what the reality is and finding out where people do respect my connection and then they're there and they pick it up, and it's pretty easy. I'm not ruining my peace over it. When I'm making connections with people and my peace is getting ruined, that's a red flag for me. That's not a good place to keep trying to make a connection. It's showing me something. So instead of getting all mad about it, I just stop, recognize what's happening, and save myself for those that do want to receive, that do want to care. That's the choice that I have today. That's what I get to do. I don't get to change them, and getting mad at them for their disrespect isn't going to change them. I'm spending less time on that. And by listening to those signals inside of me, I gain that trust. So I'm going to be able to see who those trustworthy people are. The more that I hold it in and I practice self-control and I practice regulating, the more I get to see who's like that out there. And because I want to put my love in the right places. So, and I want to also feel like they're cared for. And I also want to give my love to people too, but I don't want to give it in the wrong places anymore. So being a reactive person didn't help anything. It was very self-defeating. If it pushes people away, it scares my kid. It makes them not trust themselves. It makes me not trust myself. When I'm reacting to something that was said or done, and sometimes that happens, but when I'm reacting, you have all my control. And then I leave myself to go over there to, like, when I'm all mad because of that thing that happened, I'm disconnected from myself, and that's not going to help me build trust with myself. When I stay calm and I don't let that affect me, I acknowledge it and move on, then I stay with me and I stay more centered, and then my security builds and it gets really strong. So this is just like the differences that I've learned between being reactive and responsive. And it's super alcoholic-y to be reactive over everything. And I'm sure, yes, I can stay in those situations, those friendships, those relationships, all I want. No one's telling me I have to do anything. But if I do want more peace and I want more healthy, respectful relationships in my life, by me changing, I become more available for those healthier relationships. I become more available for respectful relationships. But if I'm not healthy, if I'm unhealthy, I'm not going to get healthy. So I have to be really healthy. I have to be really respecting myself to see what that respect looks like on the other side from those other people. So really slowing down in more ways than one is helping me gain my self-control. And it does get easier. Like, I would just be in a stir when I was reacting. And I thought there was no other way at that time. It was a really hard, it was a new behavior to learn, and it was a hard one because everything was hurting and I was reacting all the time because I had no emotional regularity. I was just freaking out, and the whole world isn't against me, but that's the way I felt. I was in self-pity. I thought there was no way to change. I thought everything was unfair. I took comments the wrong way all the time. And even just the stuff that was not very nice said to me, I was sitting there defending myself. It's like I was just wasting all my energy. So it's like this is a really efficient way to stop wasting my energy and gaining that self-control. So definitely a difference between reacting and responding to situations. I completely want to respond to my life in every way now. And usually when I am reacting, like, it's either they caught me on a bad day, it's something from childhood, or there's something else I need, like hungry, angry, lonely, tired, like the HALT acronym. Like, there's always a reason why my feelings are being the way they are. And if they're really out of control, I have the choice to figure out why they're out of control and get a grip on it. So that's just my take on this. And thank you guys so much for being here. So be responsive. So thanks.